Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the Saturday morning live stream. As you can see, we have a new window here on our stream of Idiot, Desert Reef Aquatics, who now is going to invade all the streams. So there he is. Just ignore him, but he's there.
I told you I was all coming to take over his streams. Y'all, I warned y'all. I warned every one of you that I was going to take over. You just didn't believe me.
So in all seriousness, for all that don't know, this is Aaron. And he's my friend, and he has my fish tank behind him, and just about everything else that I used to have, he now has.
Your fish tank. It's my fish tank now.
But I don't have keep him in that small window. Definitely, I could actually shrink the window, so I could actually make it look at this. I can look at that. So now no one could see him.
Perfect.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Anyway, yes, Doug, I now work for Hydros or Coral View, as you can see. So every shirt I just keep switching jobs. That's what's going on. The nice names you give him. No, he doesn't have a tag. I got rid of the tag for today. Only my guests get tags. He's not really a guest anymore. So anyway, we're going to give away a $50 gift card today for the prize. Nothing crazy. It's just going to kind of be me and Aaron today. No guests. But we're going to go over a lot of stuff. I'm going to actually show you some of the hydros. And we're going to go over some stuff with Aaron because Aaron's going to be actually getting the hydros to use that I have and put it through a little more paces because I'm just too busy to really give it all of my time right now. So today's topic is going to be pretty much like what controller you should get, sorry. And as I'm sure you guys have noticed, some of my subscribers, I did a couple videos, one of which I got a lot of pushback on, and I wanted to kind of clear the air with that one. And also I did a review, and the review, of course, was just after a week of having it, kind of getting my feet wet and figuring how much I really like it. And so that's what we're going to go over. Yeah, Doug, he's going to definitely put it in his pond because that's really the only place he could put it.
Actually, I'm going to. So, for you that don't know, the tank behind me has zero automation on it at all. I don't have anything. So, I'm going to set it up on that one and use it as a way to test this tank. See what the difference is between my tank, my big 225, and this little one. With my Apex running on the big one and the Coral View running, the Hydros running on the one behind me.
Right. So that'll be cool-ish. So anyway, let's kind of go over my video a little bit, and Aaron, of course, just chime in what you think after what I say. So I got a lot of pushback about my pricing comparison video, and I wanted to go over this a little bit with you guys. So the kit actually costs $450, okay? So for $450, you're going to get the Hydros Control 4. You're going to get a pH probe. You're going to get a temperature probe, and you're going to get a four outlet power bar that's wireless. Now, for an extra $50, you can get the Apex EL. And a lot of people, for some reason, started telling me, well, it's such a better price point. It's such a better price point than the Apex. I don't know about you guys, but $50 is not a lot of money in comparison for a controller. And I believe you're getting on the Apex a lot more. So I don't know why I got so much pushback about this. So the Apex EL will give you, of course, a pH probe and a temp probe, but you're getting 8 outlets. You're actually getting the 24 volts, so you're getting two 24 outputs, and you're getting the, God damn it, and you're getting the, the one link ports. Now, The Hydros, of course, does have the drive ports, which are, kind of similar to the 24 volts. It does have the 0 to 10 outputs. So it does have, there's good things and bad things about both of them in terms of what you're getting and what you're not getting. But they're the same price. I mean, $50, yeah, it's different. But for people to go out there and say, well, the Hydros is so much cheaper. Well, it's really not. I mean, it's $50 less. So that's kind of what I wanted. That's kind of what I wanted to say. Is a lot of people like push back at me. Yeah, if you get a Control 2, yeah, that's way cheaper than an Apex. I will agree to that. But what are you getting with the Control 2, right? You're getting two sense ports and I think two probe ports, and that's it. So you're not getting pH. You're not getting any of the 0 to 10s. You're not getting, what the Apex would have, the 24 volts. So I don't know. I don't know what the big yelling and screaming is about. So I wanted to just clear the air and say, yes, the Hydros can be cheaper for a new and beginner reefer, but really it's only $50 less. So let's just be honest here, guys. It's not, $300 less, which everyone thinks. So that's all I really wanted to say about it. And we're going to go over that a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
So I just want to also point something out, and this motto goes for a lot of things. Okay, everybody says, "Oh, cheap, cheap, cheap. I want to go cheap," but complicated is cheap. Simple is expensive. You got to understand the reason why something is a little more expensive than another product is because more time and energy has gone into producing it, creating it, thinking it up, making sure it's reliable, usable. Simple is expensive. Complicated is cheap. You can buy the most cheapest item, but I guarantee it's going to be more complicated to set up. So.
Yeah. Well, he has a point. In this case, the Hydros is actually really simple, and I'm gonna hopefully go over that today. But that's all I wanted to say, guys. Is my video? If you notice, the description of the video says "you decide," not me. You decide. So I believe that the Hydros can and will be more expensive in certain situations, whereas the Hydros will be cheaper in other situations. But out of the box and out of the gate, if you're a new beginner reefer and you want to get a cheap controller, the Apex EL is going to be around the same price as a Control 4. Obviously, if you get the Control 2, you're saving a lot of money, and it is a very basic setup for someone. But if you start to add on to that, which is what I tried to say in my video, the Control 2 is $200, right? But then you decide, okay, I want to get the 0 to 10, or I want to get some more ports, right? Well, that's going to be another $350. So right there, you're at $550, which is more than the Apex EL. And that's all I wanted to explain to people. Is it's a good starter kit for people, price-wise, but it can get expensive. And that's about it. Yeah, Mike.
I'm looking forward to getting it set up on this because I have no knowledge of the Hydros. So I'm looking forward to literally setting it up on a tank that has no automation and seeing how well it does.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
And there's a lot of good comments, guys. The fallback I'm going to go over. Someone had said about the probes and some other things. We're going to go over that. So basically, here's the deal. I tested the Hydros. I really gave it a good go. I actually programmed two of the outlets, the Wi-Fi outlets, and I programmed them for oscillation. So if you guys don't know what oscillation means, that means that I have the outlet coming on and off throughout the day, just as a test. So I tested outlet 1, outlet 2, and outlet 3, and I had them oscillate. Outlet 1 oscillated every 30 minutes. Output 2 oscillated every 15 minutes, and outlet 3 oscillated every minute. So I really tried to, give this thing a lot of hell, essentially. And after about 8 hours, outlet 3 stopped working. So I just want you guys to know that. I oscillated every minute, and it struggled after about 8 hours. Now, that could be a firmware issue. That could be a couple other things. But just know that. I'm putting it through tests, you know. Let's see. Did you ever confirm the probe that comes? It is a single junction probe. At least the one I have is. There is no power monitoring on the Hydros with the exception of their smaller little plug, and I haven't actually tested it, so I don't know what kind of power monitoring it has. So let's go over the power bar situation. So someone on my, I don't know if it was on my group or another group, I saw it in a couple groups, opened up one of the opened up the Hydros power bar and opened up another power bar just to see if they were the same, and we found out that they were exactly the same. So if you guys know, last week I had Coral View on, and I brought it up and I said, hey, are these the same thing? And indeed they are the same thing. They're just rebranded. So this became a huge thing going on in the industry, I guess, that they were essentially, they're not ripping off people, but they were kind of fibbing a little bit, because if you go on their website, it says that they don't rebrand on the Hydros, and I found that. To me, I don't really care that much that it's Chinese made, and I don't really care where they get it, as long as it works. But to the consumer, I think you can save like $20 by getting the one on Amazon. So would you get the one on Amazon? I don't know, because then Coral View's not going to warranty it, right? So if you have problems with it, they're not going to warranty it. It does work. I tested it. I have one of the white ones here, and I tested it, and it works great. So what can you say, right? Let's see if we have any comments. Yes, Reef Dreams, they are identical. That is correct. So.
And yes said nobody. Yeah, I know Derek's funny looking. Don't worry about it.
I'm funny looking? What? Did you
I
say
said,
I'm
yes
funny?
said nobody. Come on, I gotta throw a troll in there somehow. Nobody knows. Reef Dreams laughs. Yeah.
Reef Dudes isn't even in here. At least I can't see him. Oh, dude, I can't understand anything you're saying. You need to learn to speak English.
Oh,
all right. So Steven mentioned something. They said about the firmware versus specific. Okay, we're going to go over this, and I don't have actual evidence of what I'm about to say. There is no way to update the firmware, from what I can tell, on the Hydros to update the firmware of the power bar. So for them to say it has a different firmware version, I don't know how it could, because you can't update the firmware, you can't change the firmware. I don't believe that. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not 100% on that, but I can't see a way of doing it with the software. So if they had their own proprietary firmware, then why can't I update it? Furthermore to that, Stephen, is I can program the Hydros power bar onto my Wi-Fi without a controller. So it works like a Wi-Fi power bar without the Hydros, just so you know.
So can I ask you a question though, myself?
Yeah.
You say, so basically their modules are wirelessly connected versus hardwired?
Not exactly.
A wireless power bar.
Well, the power bar is wireless, but the rest of their stuff is wired.
So does it rely on a Wi-Fi network to make that work?
100%.
So if your Wi-Fi goes down, you lose connection to the power bar.
Correct.
Well, see, I'm curious to find out, and I don't know if maybe you went over this, but like with an Apex piece of equipment, if for any reason it goes offline, it stores its basic coding
Correct.
in the unit itself and continues to run. Does the Hydros power bar shut off if it loses connection?
So here's what I did some tests. They've changed the software to work a little bit better, but for now, the fallback actually functions. So when it loses Wi-Fi, it turns off and on the outlet. But here is the weird thing about it, is if the controller was to lose power, I noticed that the outlet kind of doesn't know what to do, and it keeps the outlet on. So I don't know if I explained that right. So if your controller is powered and has Wi-Fi, and your Wi-Fi power block has power and Wi-Fi, and the controller loses power, right? The power block stays on. It has no way of knowing what to fall back on.
Okay.
The fallback is only based off of the controller telling what to do if it loses control. So that's a big weird issue I noticed.
And Steven, I know the difference between Wi-Fi and internet. I mean, if I have a power outage, most of my fish tanks are on battery backup, but my Wi-Fi is not on battery backup. I'd rather my whole server rack get shut down because I have an automation system. I'd rather it stay shut down in the event of a power outage because it could cause damage to the equipment. So my Wi-Fi would be offline completely. So that's why I asked the question.
So Philly brought up a good question. That's why CoralView says that you need 2 brains. And that goes back to the whole pricing thing that I was talking about. So Apex EL, you have the ability to buy a 12-volt power supply, and it will alert you if you lose power. I've done videos on how to do that. Whereas with the Hydros, you do need to purchase another brain. So it can become expensive depending on how much redundancy you want. So anyway, I'm not going to really get into the videos and the issues with Hydros, but just be aware, guys. They're completely separate systems, and they work completely different. And I really, as you all know, I have an Apex. I've had an Apex for 10 years, so I know Apex. I consider myself an Apex expert. I've been using Apex. It works. I haven't had any issues with my Apex. There's a couple little things over time. My flow sensors I've had some issues with. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I know the Apex. Whether I tell you that the Apex is better than the Hydros, I can't really do that yet because the Hydros is so new. But I can tell you that I like the Apex, and I've been using it for so long. So I like how it works, and I've had really good success with it. Has anyone that hasn't been given a Hydros done a positive review? Hard to get honest answers because of the amount of fanboys. That's a good.
You'll get an honest answer from me because I have no opinion one way or the other. I'm gonna set it up. I'm gonna use it. I look forward to using it. Mm-hmm. You're gonna get a straight, honest, no biased review out of me.
So I didn't get it for free. I'm sure you guys know I bought my Hydros. I bought the Hydros for the giveaway. This shirt I got for free. So they sent it to me. I was supposed to wear it last week, and I didn't get to wear it. So I did get a free shirt. I know you guys know I get free shirts. But this was supposed to be worn last week. But anyway, yeah, you know, the thing is, all these people on YouTube and all these people I speak to, they don't want to say anything bad about the Hydros, and that's great. They don't want to say anything about the Apex sometimes too. But again, I'm kind of giving you guys just a general opinion of it so far. And so far, I know the Apex works. I've been using it for years, 10 years, okay? I know that I can rely on it to function when I need it for different things. You know, Aaron's got Apex on his system because I gave it to him, and it's reliable. We don't know if the Hydros is reliable. We can say it is. People have been doing a ton of beta testing on it, but that's beta testing, right? We don't know that the actual release product is reliable yet. We just don't know, and I don't know if it can be or won't be. Also, Hydros is going to release, or CoralView is going to release a ton of different modules and additions to their product, but they haven't done anything yet. So I can't give them props for, oh, look at this. They sell this cheap thing that works great, because they just haven't done it yet. Yeah, so Hasted just said, the thing is, Hydros is still coming out with more modules. Exactly. That's 100% exactly what I just said. Oh, there you go. You guys probably have a delay. But the point I'm making is, oh, Brett, we're going to talk about GHL. Don't worry, dude. This is about all controllers. But I just want to clear the air with my video because I got tons of people at me. I think I got like 50 thumbs down on it, too. People don't realize that, yes, it is cheaper if you just want to do a real basic, simple thing on a Nano. But anything beyond that, it's actually not cheaper. And that's all I was trying to explain. All right. So we're gonna go into a couple things. Don't even go over ReefBot. Don't even mention ReefBot. Isn't even allowed to be mentioned on my stream battle. If Aaron mentions ReefBot, what happens is I take his little window and I go like this. Boom. He's in He's in ReefBot jail.
I wanted to
ReefBot
tell
jail.
to Dave M. By the way, you mentioned, am I going to pay for it? No, because he's going to let me use it to test it out. If I end up liking it and keeping it, then yes, I will buy it off him. Otherwise, it will go back to Derek and either be gifted away in a stream, or he'll do something with it or hold on to it to test out other things that come out with it. But he wanted me to give an unbiased opinion because, look, I have no... I'm just a third party here. I have the opportunity to give you guys feedback from somebody who has no ties to Apex other than I had a free one given to me. So yes, that's great. I enjoy my Apex because it was given to me and it works great. But that's why we're doing this, so that I can give you guys a unbiased opinion about it.
Hey Lee,
no, not saying, Derek, you know.
I don't think they were thumbs down from Neptune employees. They might have been thumbs down from Coral View employees. Macy's daddy, I have to say something about your comment because it is 100% inaccurate. So I am a computer programmer, and as Aaron knows, I'm very OCD about my wiring. I make sure everything's right. Trust me.
OCD
Trust
about
me.
Wiring. You should see his programming. You will not find a flaw in the way that it's laid out.
Thank you very much.
I think a baby could read your programming because of how well you lay it out.
Yeah, Macy's daddy, he is definitely a jack in the box. That's 100% true. But I got to comment on what he said, or she. I don't know, Macy's daddy, if you're a woman or a man, so I apologize. Aaron, you have an Apex, right? You have a. I give you all my Apex, right?
Yes, correct.
Works, right?
I love it.
There you go. So I'm just saying, I want to mention Macy's daddy. Yes, I'm a computer programmer. Yes, trust me. I know a lot of things about programming. I know a lot of things about hooking up. But I hook up everything the same way as you guys do. I hook up Aquabus cables, right? I hook up power the same way you guys do. It's not like I have some special thing. Yes, I hook it up to... excuse me. I hook up my what you call it? Jesus. My battery backups, right? Yes, I hook them all up the same way. But my point that I'm making is I go through the same struggles you guys do. I had bad flow sensors from Neptune. I've had bad wave pumps from Neptune, and I've said this stuff before. You know, I had an issue with my Trident. I had to clean the cuvette, which I mentioned to everybody. I'm very transparent with my situation with my Apex. I have a lot of Apex gear. I probably have 30-something modules. But so does Brian Bench, who's actually on our stream. So Brian can mention if he's had a lot of issues with his Apex. So all I'm saying, Macy Daddy, is I want Hydros to succeed. I think it's a great product. I just know Apex, and I know it works for me. So other people that have all these issues, 50% of the time it's their fault, 50% of the time it's the product's fault. I've noticed that. Some moron decided to plug his outlet into a non-GFI outlet and poured water on it and then blames Neptune. I've seen that before. The same thing could be said about if you have a Hydros or a GHL, you know.
Can I also mention something about the Apex that I've noticed too? So with every product, as you use it and use it and use it, sometimes things happen. As a matter of fact, one of the pieces of equipment you gave me was an EB4, right?
Right.
And you had been using it and using it and using it for so long that I think one of the outlets had died on it.
That's right.
Normally, you'd have to send it in to get repaired. Well, because I know a little bit about repairing electronics, I simply went to the board and was able to resolder the piece that was broken and made it work again. So it just goes to show you how well made it is that I can go in and be able to do a board level fix on my own, and it still worked perfectly with no hiccups, no nothing. It's working flawlessly again.
Right. Well, not many people are going to open up their shit like you did. But the point you're making is you can. You can do that with a Hydros power bar too. Okay, well, yeah, don't ever trust him to fix anything in your house, by the way. Do
You
you
know that's not true. Don't you even. You know that's not true. How much stuff have I done in your house?
Haha, Dave, do you think the new GHL Ion Director could be tied into the Apex? The Ion Director is never coming out. I don't care what you guys think, it's never coming out. I'm just telling you. If it comes out in 3 years, I'll be happy.
Hi, Weld Reef.
What's up, Waleed Reef? Hello. All right, so let's
Dale.
get into a couple things. So GHL kind of brought up a little. I know Brett's a GHL guy, so um, I already mentioned how I feel about GHL. Obviously, I would never buy a GHL over my Apex after all of my testing. I will tell you, I think the Hydros can 100% give GHL a run for its money because the Hydros, when I show you guys how easy this is, you're going to be like, holy cow, this is the easiest thing I've ever seen. And that, again, is going to be the big competition for Neptune. Is their programming, I have to tell you, their programming on the Hydros is better than any programming I've seen. Whether or not it looks better or acts or works is another story. But man, wait till you see this, guys, how easy this is. You're going to be like, holy cow, this is the easiest thing I've ever seen. So again, I'm going to have to actually do some tutorials on it. And we'll see. So let me move over to there and let's get started with this. So this is the Hydros browser. You guys can actually go ahead and look at my video on some of the issues I'm having with the phone. I still continue to have issues with my phone, but the browser is really nice, and the app on the iPad is actually really nice. So this is what
It
you
does look
get.
very well laid out.
Yeah, no, I'm totally for them and their programming. Their programming is really great. I gotta give them props, definitely. Someone had mentioned the leak detector too. I really do like that rope leak detector, by the way, guys. And I really like the fact that their connections, you screw them in and they stay in. One thing with my Apex, I don't know if you guys experienced this, but anytime I move my Apex brain, something comes loose, and it just drives me crazy.
I've run into that problem too. So I will
Yeah.
tell you that, and as see for all you people that think he's an Apex fanboy, he still points out some flaws because that's the whole point of this. We're gonna point out the flaws. It doesn't matter what company you're with or what product it is, because we give you real information here. Well, he gives you real information.
Waleed Reef, no. The answer to your question is no. Um, Don Dante, yeah, we're not going to go over IFTT. That's a little more nerdy. We're not going to go over that. Okay, so here's the Hydros, guys. So I didn't do anything on purpose because I want you guys to see how it works. So you got these modes, which are really cool. So you can actually set up a bunch of different modes. You can actually add a mode. So if I wanted to add a mode and say Desert Reef Aquatics is a moron, I could do that. And now I have a Desert Reef. Oh, it won't let me put moron in. Ah. Oh. That's funny.
Thanks,
Uh,
Hydro. Thanks for keeping it real. You know.
yeah, don't call me a fanboy is right, Brett. I try really hard to be very unbiased about everything I do. Yes, I have an Apex. Yes, I love my Apex. But you guys got to remember, I have an Apex because it's the only thing that's was around until recently. GHL wasn't here in the United States for whatever 5 years, so I can't be a fanboy of something that it's the only thing that was around. You know. Okay, so let's go back here. So yeah, no, there it is. DRA is a moron. So it actually got there. Look at that.
Ah,
So you'll see
darn.
that it has a timer or a 15-minute timer, and then it will always switch back to normal. So it's kind of like a feed mode, and you can make whichever ones you want. You can add a bunch of them. You can do whatever you want with them. I haven't set up the inputs or the outputs on purpose. 'Cause I'm going to show you how that works. So you come up here and you add an output or an input. So in this case, we're going to add an output. So you go down here and add an output, and we'll call this heater, right? This is actually kind of similar to GHL, just a tad, where you actually have to add the outputs and then tie them together. So you guys I want you guys to notice this. If I zoom in or zoom out, it starts to like remove certain letters. Like look at heater, turns to heat with an E. Kind of similar to that of the phone that I'm experiencing. So the heater, this is where you would add what kind of type it is. So if you hit heater, you can then set the on temperature and the off temperature of the heater. I mean, look at how easy this is. Like, I have to give them props. Like, look at how easy this is. Now, we can't set up the temperature input because we haven't actually put the input in. Again, this is kind of similar to the GHL. So what we're going to do is we're just going to upload the changes. And look how fast it uploads it too, by the way. Like it's so quick. So if I go back, we have a heater output. Now we have to put an input for our temperature, right? So if I go to input here and I say input temp, right? There's our input for temp. We're going to come over here. We're going to call it what kind of probe it is. So remember, it has a probe input, a sense input, and a 0 to 10 input. So in this case, this is a sense input. We're going to say what kind of sensor it is. It's a temperature probe. You're going to then put what sense port it's plugged into. So in this case, it's plugged into 1. Then you can put the safe range of the temperature, and this is where it's going to alert you. So for instance, my safe range, this is a perfect safe range, 77 to 82, right? So we're going to say upload changes. So there you go. So now we have a temp probe and we have a heater output, right? So we're going to go back to our output. If I'm going a little fast for you guys, just remember this is really easy stuff. I'm not really doing much. You click on heater. There's our temp probe. You then tell what output you want to use as your heater. So in this case, we're going to use power bar 1, my power bar. And this is the active in modes. And this is the part that we were kind of going over earlier. So active in modes, if you want it to be on during these modes. So if you want it to be on during feeding, if you want it to be on during water change, and when it's on, that means it's on auto, or it's doing its program during that time. And I noticed that. That's a little difficult to understand because I called them and I asked them about this. You can't actually, from what I can tell, turn on and off things during feed mode other than you could turn it off. So what I mean by that is if it's off during the feed mode, it'll shut off. But if it's on, it's going to use its automatic programming. I hope that makes sense. Depends on, I haven't really used yet, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more. But depends on, you can actually, very similar to the Apex, you can say if outlet 1 is on, what do you want what outlet 2 to do? And that's what depends on. We're going to open up advanced settings real quick, and this is the fallback function that we discussed earlier. So if input is unavailable is essentially your output, okay? So, or sorry, your fallback. So what this does is if it doesn't get communication, what do you want it to do? Do you want it to turn on or off? Maximum off time and minimums, these are how long you want it to wait to turn on and off. Again, these are more advanced, so we're not going to really go into that. So upload changes, really simple stuff. Far Martin, it does have a heartbeat function. So what the heartbeat function is on this is if the controller loses power or loses Wi-Fi or loses internet, it will send you a alert. It was about 10 minutes or 15 minutes till I got the alert when I tested it. So that's the heater, very easy, like nothing to it. And that's it. I mean, that's the programming. So if we want to add another input, let's say we want to add a pH. So we'll add a pH. We'll come over here, and it is a probe port, and it is pH. And here's your safe range again. This is where you would calibrate it if you needed to calibrate it. I haven't obviously calibrated mine yet. This is if you wanted to do temperature offset. So you put temperature in there. For those that don't know what temperature offset is, when you put pH or when you put water in a specific temperature, its pH will fluctuate based on temperature. So that's what that's for. It's very small, by the way. I think I think it has to go to like 85 for it to really get a change. Stupid camera. I gotta get a new camera. All right, so now we have a
You
pH
gotta
and
get a
temp
new
probe.
camera.
Yeah, your camera sucks. Also, your mic sucks. Everyone's complaining about your mic.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Like I know when oh, that's right. When I watch your Twitch stream, your mic sucks also. So for everyone that doesn't know, this guy is a streamer. Not as good as me, but he's getting there. And I'm
Don't
gonna
be
put
jealous.
it. I think this is the right address. If it's not, you can correct me. That is his Twitch address for anyone that wants to watch him play video games, which I don't want to do.
That is correct. That is my correct one.
Yeah, and if you want to troll him, perfect place to go, guys. Perfect place to troll him. I've been doing it nonstop.
He does. I will tell you, I have to keep kicking him out because he keeps trying to bring up politics in the middle of my stream.
Dude, you have to raise your volume. People are saying they just can't hear you, or maybe you're not close enough to the mic. I think you're just not close enough to the mic. That's
No,
my guess.
I am. It's just that I have a lot of it turned down because I was told that I was too loud.
All right, let's do this. Okay. I don't, Brian. I don't watch him. I just sit there and actually, me and my brother have about 7 different Twitch names that we just log in and say stuff. Okay, so getting back to what we were doing. So we added a pH probe, right? So now, if we go over to outputs, we can actually program it based off of pH. So for instance, what's a good one? Calcium reactor? So let's do calcium reactor, right? So we'll call that, and what's nice is they actually have a calcium reactor programming field here, right? So look at this, reaction pH probe. So you can set the pH and what you want the reactor to be. Now you can actually, if you had an alkatronic, because that's the only thing that works with it now, you can actually have it turn on and off based on the alkalinity from the alkatronic, which is really cool. So this is your output for the CO2 regulator. I mean, how easy is this? Like seriously, this is so simple. So this is if you want that output to work during those different feed modes, and then it depends on we went over already. So this will basically set up a calcium reactor for you, just right here, done. Now, if you wanted that pH probe to be based off of like a protein skimmer, you could do it right here. You could do a skimmer level. I mean, there's so much junk here. Junk isn't the right word. I apologize. So much stuff you can do here. We're not going to go into combiner, but what combiner is really cool is you can actually say if I have a heater and I have another outlet, if both of them are on or if they're not, you can actually go in here and say, where is it right here? The heater and I want both of these to come on at the same time, depending on something else. So again, I'm not going to get into this right now. I'll have tutorials on it, but that's basically how to program hydros. There's really not much more to it. I mean, that's why I really like it. So let's see if there's anything else to show you guys on here. There's a couple options here. So you can change the temperature unit, which is really nice. You can change it to Celsius or Fahrenheit. You go volume for people, not in the United States. Your alkalinity value you can change. Obviously your time zone. And then your LEDs. So the LEDs are really bright, by the way. So having the ability to turn them off and on is good, or turn them off completely is real good. So any questions, guys, on it? I didn't really want to go into it too much. I just wanted you guys to see it. If you haven't seen it before, how easy it is. I mean, even Aaron will be able to figure this out, and he has an IQ of 10, so he'll be able to figure this out. Pretty much anybody can figure this out, which is what I really like about it. And I got to give them props. I got to give CoralView props. This is really easy to program.
I got to say thank you for giving me 5 extra IQ points. That's great.
You're welcome.
Does that sound any better if I get closer, or is it still crap?
No, it's way better. No, it's way better, dude.
Is it really?
It really is. Jacob, yes, well, I'm going to start I'm going to start on those probably this week if I have time. I'm going to do some basic ones first, which we just went over, and then I'm going to worse. Everyone's saying worse. It's better. Okay. And I'm still going to do some, more advanced stuff as I always do. I'm also working on my GHL tutorials. I don't know if Brett's still in the channel, but it's so difficult to program GHL. I'm still learning how to do certain things. If you're new to controllers and you want to learn how to program, don't get a GHL because it's so difficult. Yeah, it can control Ecotech, Brian. I believe you have to get a wave engine for it, and then it would do it. So, yeah, definitely. Let's see what else.
Like I said, I look forward to putting it on the tank behind me. To see just to see what this thing can do. I'm all about finding cheaper ways. You know me, I'm a cheap reefer. I would prefer to have everything.
He actually just takes everything from me.
I don't take. I trade you work and stuff sometimes.
Whatever.
Hey, you have a fish tank in your wall, and I got that out of it.
Hey, but people don't realize that I have a fish tank in my wall that's crooked. People don't know that.
What do you mean crooked? It ain't crooked. It was perfect.
Crooked. It's crooked. It's freaking crooked. You know it's crooked. You've seen it, and you go, "Oh yeah, it's a little crooked." You know it's crooked.
Well, it's a good thing I'm coming over there today. I'm going to take a look at this thing. I'm going to have to shim it up a little bit.
Oh, great. Also didn't discuss that it's not cheaper because you have less out. Yeah, Brian, I explained this in the beginning. If you're late, I went over all that. So if you want to review what I said, yeah, I said a lot of stuff. So a lot of people had a question about some of their products, and I wanted to go over a few of them. Their leak detector, I already mentioned. I really like the rope leak detector. I think that's a great thing. They do have a lot of sensors that are easy to mount, which are really cool. They have a temperature sensor that mounts via a magnet, which is really cool. I think it's really cool, at least. So it's interesting. All these products that they're making to make it easier for people. And I really have to give them kudos for that, So again, I like Apex. I don't foresee myself ever putting my hydros on my reef. I got too much money invested, obviously, into my reef tank. It would just cost me so much money to upgrade to a hydros if I wanted to. Another thing, guys, we didn't talk about this, and I'm actually gonna have Aaron chime in. Who out there would rely on a Wi-Fi power bar to turn on and off important things? Let's just say your return pump's hooked up to it, right? And let's just say it's hooked up to it, and you have $15,000 worth of coral in that tank. Would you rely on a $30 power bar to turn off and on your return pump, or in this case, keep it on a tank that you spent $15,000-ish money on coral? Just out of curiosity, I'm just curious out there, guys.
You want me to chime in on that? I'm going to tell you this. I can't give you an answer yet because I haven't personally tried it, and I'm not going to give an answer without trying something. I will tell you this. I am in the process of setting up a frag tank. I will be setting it up with an Apex system only because I've been using it. I know the reliability. I trust it. And I'm about to dump a lot of money into that system. I don't want anything to fail on it. However, I look forward to trying out the hydros. I'll see, because I'll test out a power outage situation and see what happens.
All right, so a couple people said a few things, and I want to go over a few things. Reef Keeper, the Apex power bars, I have had a few issues with them. I don't know the issues you've had, Reef Keeper, but generally they remain on. That's generally the issue with a power bar, is that they won't shut off because they're relays. Usually the relays get stuck. If you have a return pump on a power bar that is remaining on, that's not a big deal. I'm more concerned about it shutting something off. Again, it could be the opposite. I'm just kind of going out there. Someone had asked if I was starting up a new tank, what I would get, and I kind of went over this earlier. I think it's a personal preference, but they're around the same price. If it was me, Apex, just based on the current, if we were talking today and not a year from now, I might have a different opinion. I've had Apex. It has a wide range of support and community people out there, lots of help like my group. In terms of reliability of their products as a whole, they have a very good track record. Now, there are many problems with Apex units. There's all kinds of every electronic has problems. I mean, me and Aaron work in the electronics business. How many products do we have that are thousands of dollars still have problems? It doesn't matter. Electronics will go bad. It doesn't matter who makes it. So to your point, in terms of reliability and track record, GHL has a very good track record with reliability. They do. Apex, I would say it's reliable to a point. I've had a lot of people ask me things, but I've had no issues, So it's electronics. Unfortunately, I'm not going to rely on a return pump on a $20 Wi-Fi power bar. I'm just not going to do it. Because here's the deal. If I go to Home Depot and I buy a power strip for $10, that's going to last longer than something that's reliant on a Wi-Fi signal or Wi-Fi chip to turn off and on their outlets. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Have you ever set up power monitoring for Apex to get like 20 days saying there's no power, but then I go check and there is? Looks like short outages. I don't know what that is.
Derek's got a couple short outages in his brain, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. Justin, power monitoring. When I look at power monitoring, I don't look at it as an outage or as losing power. I look at power monitoring as monitoring how much power you're consuming. I would call that more of power detection than power monitoring. So if you're talking about power detection, that's something different. Yeah, John, the GHL doser is a fantastic product. I'm not going to lie. That's a great product.
Hey, Brian Bench, I will tell you as a good saying that I've been told and have used since I've been told it, Wi-Fi is a last resort. You should always try to plug it in if you can. Always.
Yeah, so he brought up another point that I was going to go over real briefly. Me and Aaron, for a living, install networks. That's what we do. And how many clients have you got calls on, hey, my Wi-Fi just stopped working. Hey, my Wi-Fi is slow. Hey, my Wi-Fi did this. Or hey, if you're reliant on a product in a house, regardless of how much money you spend on your network, you can spend $10 on a router. It doesn't matter. And you're reliant on that power bar to function a tank that has $15,000, $20,000 of coral, I just say hell no. I would rather have a wire that I know is going to always be connected and have a very unlikely chance of getting interference. No one talks about interference. That's another thing you guys have to understand. Again, me and him install Wi-Fi. Let's say I put an access point outside. Let's say I put an access point in the kitchen next to an oven, next to something that a microwave, for instance. A microwave will give you interference. Guess what happens with interference in Wi-Fi?
Cuts it out. Drops it.
So you lose packets, you lose communication. There's a lot of things that happen. I'm not going to get too technical. So I just don't like that idea. And even CoralView has admitted that they're going to be making a hardwire power bar. They have to. They just have to. All right, let me catch up on some of these comments. Let's see. Anything important, Aaron?
Look, I mean, like I keep telling you, y'all want to say that he's a fanboy or something, but he's been honest with every review he has. He's literally bought everything and tried it. So,
I don't care out there. Everyone's going to call me a fanboy no matter what. And unfortunately, that's not how I look at it. I look at it as I am a community service agent that I help you
yep.
guys out to tell you what I think. Obviously, I have an Apex and I've had it for 10 years and it works. So, of course, I'm going to be slightly biased towards it because I have it. And I've had it for 10 years. Any thoughts on customer service for hydros? I think I mentioned this last week. I've sent tickets into CoralView in the past, and they're pretty quick about it. Obviously, I know Carlos now, and I know some of the guys that work there, so I can get a hold of them quickly. For the average user, I don't know. Neptune has always been back within 10 hours to me, anything I send to them. We'll have to see. It's another thing we have to wait on. They don't have a big community. They don't have a Facebook group, for instance. They don't have forums. There's things that they need to set up for people that need assistance, whereas Neptune obviously has already had that for many years. Same thing with GHL. Yeah, Hasted made a good point. Yes, if you have something on a different floor, Wi-Fi is the right way to go. However, for those that don't know, the Hydros requires a wire to communicate with other modules, just like the Apex. So if you had a brain in one room and you had a brain in another room, they are not going to communicate with each other via wireless. And this is a misconception. You have to run a wire. And the wire only has a 15-foot range unless you use Cat5 and power it on both sides. So just be aware of that. Loosen the screws on the GHL doser. Can Hydros control newer version? Cannot currently. I don't know if they'll change that. Can you do a video on your home network and what you recommend? So Macy's daddy, me and Aaron do that for a living. This is something that I've actually mentioned in the past. I don't do anything that is income related on my stream. So anything where I make an income from it as my normal everyday job, I do not do videos on. So I'm not going to do videos on Crestron programming ever. I'm not going to do how do you install a home theater receiver, because that's how I make my money. So if I gave that information out for free, that's basically me losing money. So I'm not going to do that, Macy's. If you want to call me or speak to me about it privately and I'd bill you for my time, absolutely. I'd have no problem doing that. I hope you guys understand. Let's see. I'm an Apex user. Awesome. What's about the elements Trident recommend in the future beside? I don't know that question. I can't answer that question because I don't have the answer. The Wi-Fi could be cool. Yeah, again, Battle, the Wi-Fi is cool. But again, the Wi-Fi is only for the power block. I don't think people understand that. I've been trying to explain it. There is no Wi-Fi between modules on the Hydros. It's just the power bar that's Wi-Fi. And
Macy's,
it's also not
he'll get
Bluetooth.
back to you in private in a DM about that. He doesn't want to talk about that on the stream.
I am an Apex user. CoralView has been quicker and better. Yeah. Again, to each his own, Don Dante. I think everyone's going to have their own opinion, but give it a year. I know that sounds crazy, but give it a year. Let's see if they get a Facebook group going. Let's see if they get forums going. Let's see if it has reliability like they're supposed to, Nothing wrong with you liking doesn't make you eat like. Well, I appreciate you saying that, Reef Keeper, because trust me, I get people all over me about this. Farm Martin, if you know Randy, tell him to contact me, because I keep contacting him and he just won't answer me. He's dodging me like the plague. I was what? I was long as sigagugagug. Can you say that? I was what luggers? I was guys. I was yais lugag.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Don Dante, I think their customer service has been always great. I used to have a Reef Octopus product, and they were always really good with me. But yeah, only time will tell. if let's just say 6 months from now we have a slew of people online saying, "Oh, the power block stopped working," and there's like tons of people that have that issue, then yeah, it wasn't a good product, and they're going to rectify it hopefully. Captain, you can do all kinds of crap, man. There's these combiners, and I'm not going to go through it, but dude, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I have to give them props for their programming.
You know what would be
J Fusion said something exactly what I was mentioning in my video. They market it as Wi-Fi. That's 100% true. But again, I had them on last week, and I didn't grill them, but I said to them, this is what I'm hearing. What is the truth? And they said the truth. They said the truth. If you guys haven't watched it, watch last week's. They tell you exactly it's not Wi-Fi. They tell you why it's not Wi-Fi. They tell you why they bought what they bought for their rebranding of their power bar. They also tell you what not to do and what to do. They were very transparent, but I had to ask them. It's not something that they are announcing anywhere. So I give them a lot of props for being honest with me. And you guys know on my streams, I'm gonna get the honesty out. I'm gonna tell people, hey, this is the truth, guys. Because there's a lot of marketing falsehoods in the business, and actually in general. Aaron? There's things that we hear on our side on AV stuff where they market something, and then we get it, and then we start using it, and it's a bunch of BS. Marketing
Right.
and advertising is it's a very good business of lying.
Didn't you? Yeah, just like when they marketed Crestron Home.
Oh, don't even get into that shit. So if you mention Crestron Home, every time you mention Crestron Home, I'm allowed to mention politics.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
No,
Yes.
No. I won't mention it ever again.
Okay, good.
What's my cat's name? Monster.
So Waleed Reef, I have 3 Salinity probes, and I have been yelled at for what I'm about to tell you. I don't know if I'm lucky or I know what I'm doing, or I don't know. They all work perfectly fine. I actually wanted to do a Salinity probe video to show you guys how I have success with it. But Battle just made a great point, by the way. It's not Neptune's fault. These Salinity probes out there just all suck. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's really hard to measure conductivity in moving water with bubbles and all kinds of electrical stuff, and but mine work. Mine have always worked, and I've been saying that for what? Aaron, have my Salinity probes ever had a problem? Like I've given you a couple extras. They've always worked.
No, because
No?
mine is broken right now.
Oh, well, that's because you broke it.
No, I didn't break it. I simply moved it from one tank to another tank, and it's now on my 225. And even though I measure it with a Salinity probe, like a handheld one, versus the one connected to my Apex, it's off by like 2.
2?
It pisses me off. Yeah.
Well, recalibrate
my thing
it.
said exactly 35 point whatever ppm. The other one said it's 37. The one that's on the Apex.
Jacob had a question here. I'm using a DJ power strip. Everything plugged in is important. So what would I use this Wi-Fi power bar for? Well, that's the big question mark. Personally, if it was me, so let's say I was out there and I was looking for a controller, right? I would wait till Hydros makes a wired power bar. When they make a wired power bar, I might jump ship and go to Hydros and get something. But for now, I believe that's their chink in the chain. That's my honest to God opinion. The Salinity probe is not the same tech as the Hanna Salinity checker. It is not. One, I think, measures conductivity, and one measures salinity. So 2 different things. I think stability is important. Disco lights outside the tank. Cody brought up a good point. The Hydros has a lot of flashing lights, and they are bright. Luckily, you can turn them off. Of course, I'm not stupid. I have calibration solutions. Well, you have an IQ of 10, so we don't. They have to ask to make sure you know what you're doing.
5.
Oh.
IQ of 5. Thank you. Be correct.
It's working well, then you are lucky. Like I said, it's hit or miss with the Salinity Pros, guys.
Look,
one thing.
I could just. Mine's old. He gave it to me. I've had it for quite a long time now. It could just be time to replace it, honestly.
Yeah, you got to replace them. You got to replace your probes every year and a half. Honestly, you really do.
Yeah, I'm going 3 years on it, so it definitely is time to replace it then.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's only 2
3 years. Oh my God.
Well, I'm just saying, the fact that it's only 2 off is actually pretty darn good, if you ask me. Yes, time to replace it.
So Waleed, you got to make sure that the probe is nowhere near bubbles. That's the first key to them, because they will get all funky if they're near bubbles. My recommendation for everyone out there is to put them in the most fast-moving water and not the most stagnant water. I find that if I put a return pump and I put the probe right in front of that sucker, it works the best. Just so you guys know.
Really? In the most stagnant water I can find.
No. How's the rope leak detector? John, the rope leak detector is awesome. I love it. No, Brian, I have no interest in buying a wave engine. It's expensive, and I have no interest. I have no need for it. Justin, the programming is actually really simple. They have tasks. They make it easy. There's people like me that teach you how to do things. The misconception out there is that Apex is so hard to program. Aaron, do you think the Apex is hard to program? I don't think it is.
I don't think there could be an easier system to program. Oh, I will take that back. I just looked at the Hydros, and it's actually pretty interesting to see. So I can't say. But the Apex is child-proof. I mean, you could literally have a child program. It's so easy.
Yes, the Hydros programming is fantastic, Justin. But I will tell you, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a computer programmer, they have tasks, they have ways to make it easy for you. You just have to find that information out. Whereas the Hydros is kind of point and click and figure it out. It's pretty easy. So how flexible is it? Really flexible, actually. If you guys give me a second, I'll go grab it. So, Aaron, don't be mean. The funny thing is I can hear you, by the way.
He's left. Now I get to take over the stream and run it. So hi, how's everybody doing today? Y'all enjoying this beautiful, amazing picture he's got in the background? Dave, don't worry.
At least he has no control over the stream. He can just sit there. That's the good thing.
Hi, Lee. Hello.
All right, so here's the leak sensor. It's actually about, I'm going to say it's about 6 feet, but you can extend them, so you can just plug them in and extend them. I don't know who was asking, but I mean, look at this. I mean, that's pretty amazing. Like you can pretty much put this anywhere you want. Whip out the swords. Oh my God.
Yeah, what, you want me to lie? You want me to take my sword off the wall?
Doug, I'm not even gonna reply to what you just said, dude. It's not very difficult, Doug. You were trying to do some crazy crap, man. If you're just trying to do some basic stuff, dude, it's easy. But you're trying to do all kinds of automation and crazy stuff, dude. I don't know what you mean by one-time use. I'm assuming you mean if it gets wet, you can't use it again. No, it's made of like a plastic, so you can just wipe it off. Yeah. Yeah, D from Brooklyn, absolutely. I really do love this leak sensor, man. And again, guys, I think someone mentioned this also. The connectors are screw-in, so they don't come out, and I think that's awesome, guys. I really do. I really have to say, there's a couple great things about the Hydros that I wish Apex would do, and I mean, and Terrence knows. I spoke to him. They need to put a way of screwing in all of their connectors or a connecting block or something, because they just come loose so easily. How do we hook that up to our Apex? You know, Brian, I'm not going to say anything, but it's got, hold on, let me see. It looks like it's got 3 conductors inside, but I don't know how you could cut this open. I mean, it's pretty tough. I mean, you would need a good scissors to cut this thing.
Hold on.
Like probably bolt cutters to cut this thing. It is strong.
Hey, can I ask you a question real quick?
It's like plastic. Yeah.
It looks like it's a 3.5 millimeter plug, right?
It is.
So all you got to do is go get one of those 3.5 millimeter like extensions and cut that, not that one. So you can plug it in, and then you could separate out the wires. I bet you it's red, white, and black wire.
You know what, Brian? I have a feeling, dude, you could probably put this on the Apex. I don't see why you couldn't. Aaron and his IQ just went up a little bit. He can come over and put this in, and we could try it. Those who are annoyed to have to hit the upload after every change, you do not have to. You can do many changes and then hit it. Oh man, Jeff, thanks for telling me that, dude. I had no idea. So what he's saying. So in Hydros, there's an upload changes button on the bottom. So you could make a ton of changes, right? You can go to your outlets, and instead, like Apex, every time you make a change, you have to upload it, right? So with this, you could just go to inputs, make a change. You know, I want to change this, and then I want to go back, and then I want to change my pH, and then I want to go here, and then I can hit upload changes. That's really cool, man. Thanks for telling us. That's a big deal. Man, if Apex had that, imagine if Apex, you can make all your changes and then hit the upload button. It'd save a lot of time, for sure.
Dave M, just so you know, I got started doing DIY. That's what got me doing. That's the whole reason of Desert Reef Aquatic was all my DIY stuff.
That's why everything breaks that he has, by the way.
Don't hate on, that's the whole point of DIY. It's all about testing and learning and figuring things out for yourself. Come on. So some stuff breaks.
So Jeff, you brought up an interesting point. So you can add a float sensor to the rope detector. Okay, so what happens if the rope detector gets water? Does the float sensor then not function anymore, and vice versa? I mean, if you plug it in, it's not a separate device, right? Or is it? Because from what they told me, and you might be more of an expert on it, is each sense port can only do one thing. At least that's what they said to me. Point of DIY is to break. Steven, anytime Aaron does something DIY, the point of it is to break. That's correct.
Hey, I do it to break it to see if I can make it better afterward.
Oh, dude, D, you're getting your what's the word I'm looking for? God, I can't come up with that saying. Something to my heart. You're drawing to my heart. I don't know what the word is. I don't know. Anyway, yes, if I can connect my fish tank to my smart home, oh man, that's gonna be game over, guys. Game over. So far, Hydros doesn't do it, GHL doesn't do it, and Apex doesn't do it. And when I say doesn't do it, that's not 100% true. They don't do it for the average person. You have to be a little more advanced to do it, okay?
Yeah, because I don't have anything, and Derek brags about the couple things he did get working, and I'm a little... And no, Alexa is not technically a home automation, so don't bring that up.
Can you control the Hydros plugs when you're not home? You absolutely can, Brian. It works off of the cloud. If we're talking about the Hydros controller, I think D is talking about if you were to buy like a a smart home plug? Can it be on the smart home and probably the controller? I don't believe it can, unless I'm mistaken, D. I'm assuming you have to choose one or the other, and that could be awesome if you could do them on both. Um, One of the guys I met had Alexa control on his whole house. Oh, dude, you haven't met me then.
Yeah, you don't realize he's got one in every room in the ceiling with these special in-ceiling mounts, and they look like little speakers around the house. I know because I helped him put them in.
That's right. My entire house, Cody, is voice activated. Everything. Not everything. I mean everything. My TVs, my fish tanks, everything is voice activated in my house. Where is it? Cody, go ahead and look at, I don't know if I did this in my video. Cody, go ahead and look at my home automation video that I have. It's a one-off video of how everything works in my house.
Hold on, I want to reiterate on everything that is in his house is automated. I came over because I knew the secret phrase to use, and I opened his garage door. I opened his garage door from outside because I knew the right code to make it. He's standing in his garage and he just looks at me like, "What the shit?"
You're a son of a bitch, dude. I changed that. By the way, I changed that the day he did it. Like within an hour.
It was so funny. It was so funny.
No, my toilets are not voice activated. Although they do make them. We've installed them. I've installed them.
A voice activated bidet. I mean.
Thanks, D, for watching my videos, man. I appreciate all the support you guys give me. I really appreciate it. If I don't ever say that, understand that I do this for you guys. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for fame. I do this to help everybody because when I first started my stream and my YouTube channel, and Aaron knows this, I thought I was going to have, 20 people? Like, I didn't think anybody was going to watch this. I didn't think anybody cared. You know, someone had talked to me about it and said, "Man, Derek, you know your stuff about automation. How great would it be to share the information for reefing stuff?" I'm like, no one's going to watch this crap. And, man, I'm shocked by the amount of people we have in our group, our Facebook group. The YouTube is starting to get popular. And, I got my share of trolls, and they sometimes come on in the stream. And, that's part of the gig. I've started to realize it's part of the gig. And I try to be as honest and transparent as I can. I try to be as, giving to you guys. I give you guys free stuff all the time. I don't know what else I can do, but I still get trolls. Fanboys for different things go at me. GHL went at me. It's just unfortunate, but I can't avoid that. That's part of being on social media. And I just usually delete them. If people don't like what I say, that's fine. Everyone has entitled to their own opinion. I'm just trying to help people that have questions.
I will say this though, I wasn't surprised that you got so big so quickly because you really, really know your stuff. And you know what? If you weren't giving real information, you wouldn't get the people out there trying to come after you. It's because you give true, honest, real information to people that you have people come after you because they're like, "Oh no, he's telling people the truth about the stuff, and we can't have that because we're biased on it." Yeah. Obey the rules.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I got a bunch of stuff in my office, but anyway, Lee is a very happy man, by the way, Aaron, because Lee met your mom on the channel, so he's very happy.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So,
okay.
So I was in Prescott, and I found this, Prescott, Arizona, and I found this. This is the greatest flipping thing I've ever found.
Yeah. Like, save me from Lee. Save me from Lee. He's still coming after my mom.
Yeah. But, Doug can't believe that Desert Reef Aquatics is saying something nice. Yeah, it's weird when he says stuff nice about me. It's really strange. It's like it comes out of nowhere. Gary, if you're not getting verification, then you must have been late. You have to enter within the first 45 minutes. Okay, so what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I don't know. I totally got like confused because now we're talking about your mom. So it totally just sent me that way.
Lee keeps asking me to call him daddy.
Oh boy. So I don't know. Something about money. I don't know. What were we talking about? Damn you, Lee.
We're talking about how you actually truly give real information, whereas others just want to be upset because you give real information. That's the way we're
all right. So guys, let's be honest here. All right. Again, I was explaining to you guys how I'm so humbled by this amount of support that I get. It's just I can't even tell you how much I love it. But let's really be honest out here, guys. I watch YouTube like everyone else, like you guys. I started watching Bulk Reef Supply back in the day when Ryan would make his first videos, and they were always really informative. You know, he knew what he was talking about. I really liked him. You know, then some guys started to come around. I'm not going to mention names. I don't think it's appropriate.
I know,
but you guys know who they are. That go on YouTube and they have tons of subscribers. Don't get me wrong. They've been doing it for a long time. I hope to be as popular, or as popular is not the right word. I hope to reach as many people as I can to help them. But let's be honest, guys. There's a lot of YouTubers out there that are paid for. And I say that because I'm just trying to be honest. People get free stuff. They go on YouTube and they go, "Hey, I got this free thing and it's awesome." I'm never going to do that. You're never going to see me do that. Even I got this shirt for free. I think it's awesome, by the way. So I'm going to wear it. But does that mean that I think Hydros is the greatest thing ever? Absolutely not. But guys, you got to be careful. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that have 20, 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers and tons of videos, right? And they've been doing it for 5 years, right? I've been only doing this not even more than a year. Obviously, in 5 years, I hope to have as many of them, you know? But understand that while they might have really good information, which they do, some of them are not. They don't know what they're talking about, first of all. Not saying that I always know what I'm talking about. Trust me, I sometimes make mistakes. I always tell you guys, hey, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, or I'm not sure. They just say, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It'll do this, and they just don't know what the hell they're talking about. And all they're doing is pushing a product. Unfortunately, I'm never going to do that. So anyway, I just wanted you guys to hear that from me.
Jacob, real quick, I want to comment on what you just said. I'm aware of a current situation going on regarding Facebook and a lot of people out there due to the whole hashtag Leave Facebook trend that's going on right now. I'm sure Derek's aware of it too, and I think he's working on something to be able to get to the people that are jumping on that, because we don't want to take away your opportunity to talk to us. So I know that there are things that are being looked into, whether it be a forum that we start up or some kind of website that you can go to and send in a ticket, something. There will be another way other than Facebook, but right now you'll just have to bear with us. Come to us on the stream, ask us the questions here, and we'll try to do our best to get that information to you until we come up with a solution for the people leaving Facebook.
Yeah, so another thing you guys got to understand, someone had asked a question, and I got to say this. I don't work for Neptune. I don't work for any distributors. I don't work for frickin' CoralView. I don't work for GHL. I don't sell product. I don't have a storefront. So anytime everyone asks me of deals or any type of product or anything that's coming out soon or what's the price going to be on this, I don't know, dude. I'm just like you guys. You guys got to look at me like one of you guys. Trust me, I don't know what Neptune is cooking up. I mean, I do belong to the NSI, so I'm going to mention that. So as they come up with products to beta test, I do get to beta test them, and unfortunately, I'm not allowed to talk about them. But other than that, I don't know what the hell's coming out. You guys have probably seen me do that.
Let me point out something, though. He does get to beta test something. He does not get to keep the things, though. He has to send them back or pay for them.
Right. That's correct.
So just because he's a beta tester doesn't mean he's getting free stuff. He either needs to send it back or pay for it if he wants to keep it. So again, back to that, he doesn't get stuff for free. He turns it down. It keeps him honest and non-biased.
Thank you for saying that, Aaron. But that's 100% true.
I know somebody was going to come out and say, oh, well, then you get the new stuff for free, so you do get free stuff. No. He gets sent something to test it. Then if he wants to keep it, he has to buy it, or he sends it back if he didn't like it.
Thank you, Brian Bench, for the $5 super chat, buddy. I really appreciate it. Again, I always appreciate everything you guys do for me, regardless of what it is. I spend so much money on this hobby for you guys. You guys have no idea. But it doesn't matter. It makes me happy. Let's see, what else? Well, we're getting to about an hour and a half. I don't want to drown this on. I just wanted to. These trolls have been, fierce lately, so I just wanted to throw it out there, guys. So we go back to the topic, Sean. I think we're going to end this pretty quickly here. So let's go on the contest here. We got 37 people that entered today, which is awesome. And the winner is going to win a $50 gift card. So again, to the winner, message me on Facebook. I apologize. That's the only way you guys are going to be able to get the prize. Some people don't like that, but I'm not giving out my personal information or anything. So get me on Facebook for the winner. Thank you so much, Dave, for the super chat. Awesome, man. I really appreciate it. We do have one thumbs down, so some troll came in, but what can you do? Can't stop them all, right, troll Aaron?
Hey, y'all can try to out-troll me, but you'll never win.
And for those that don't know, Aaron's going to be on every stream, except for if I have an important guest and I don't want him to talk.
For now.
Oh, boy. Okay, so the winner today of the $50 gift card is someone that really participated. That's good to see a winner that participated. What are you giving me money for, you bitch? You don't have any money. You actually owe me money.
Not yet, until the end of the month.
So the winner today is Hasted. Hasted, if you are still here, hopefully you are, because you have to stay till the end. I know it was a long stream, guys, but I think we got a lot of information out, which is great. Hasted, if you're still here, say hello. And please contact me on Facebook. Since you don't have your real name here, you will have to send me a screenshot of your YouTube account just so I know it's you. Thank you guys for watching today. Again, I know it was a lot of chatting and a lot of boring, but I hope you guys learned some stuff. And this was Aaron's first one, so congratulations to Aaron on becoming my sidekick. His window is going to get shorter and smaller as the weeks go on until he's completely eliminated. So guys, have a great week. Have a great weekend, and look forward to some of the Hydros videos coming out. I got some GHL videos I just haven't been able to get to. And if you guys have any other ideas for videos, of course, just PM me on Facebook and say, hey, can you do a video on this? Can you do a video on this? I love doing videos for you guys. Make you guys learn some more stuff. So anyway, have a good one. See ya.